Welcome to this episode of the show. If you can't tell already, we're getting our thunder on today. With me, as always, is Luke. Now,
excited about this one.
I gotta admit, I actually sat down and watched the movie with my wife. It was her very first showing.
Oh, wow. That's right. She hadn't seen it.
Yeah. Just so I get it out, she hated it. Along those lines. So, yeah, she didn't like it. And I gotta admit, listening to her arguments, looking at it from 2020, my overall opinion, I still like this movie.
I love it. It's one of my favorites.
I can look back and say, yeah, there are things about this movie that are bad. So
I'm having a hard time thinking of what's bad about it.
Okay, well, let's get the 2021 perspective out of the way.
Okay.
So this film was done during the 89-90 seasons.
Yeah.
For the Winston Cup series.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Winston Cup. I'm sure if you're now, you'd be like, what's the Winston Cup?
Yes. This is back when.
Or the Bush series.
Was either named after alcohol or tobacco.
Yeah, exactly. The good days of NASCAR. The good old days.
So, one thing I'm going to do in my show notes when I post this one is I did find a great YouTube video that says, what's wrong with Days of Thunder in 10 minutes or less? And counter argument, why Days of Thunder is the best movie of all times.
Oh, I like that.
Both have valid points. The biggest thing I'm looking at it, and it's partly because this week's episode of Unspooled, Paul Scheer and Amy Nicholson are doing summer blockbusters.
Oh, really?
And they started with Jurassic Park.
Oh, that was huge. Yeah.
And even Amy pointed out that the female character in Days of Thunder didn't make sense.
Yeah. Okay. I can jump on board with that.
Now,
felt like Nicole Kidman's my girlfriend. I don't know who she was, his girlfriend or wife back then. She's going to be in the movie too. Okay, let's put her in.
Okay, let's knock out the Tom and Nicole trilogy now, so I don't have that looming over my head. They met because of this movie.
Oh, okay.
In fact, there was a podcast that came out last year. Let me see who it was. March, actually, of this year, March 3rd, 2021, Dr. Jerry Punch on the Dale Jr. Download revealed that Tom Cruise approved Nicole Kidman as his love interest in the film after it was suggested that Cruise see her performance in Dead Calm after a recommendation from Dr. Punch to director Tony Scott.
Huh, interesting.
And I haven't double checked this, but I'm pretty sure Dead Calm is the one with Sam Neill in it. And that's where he is a villain.
Huh. I've never seen that movie,
so yeah, kind of interesting. Now, obviously, last time we talked, we already hinted at the only other person recommended for Rowdy's character was Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, which just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it'd be such a different character.
Yeah, I think Michael pulled it off for the character it was.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, I remember thinking he was a NASCAR driver and looking for him. So, I mean, it was he did it very well, I thought.
There was one other potential person who production wanted for that character. And they're actually from NASCAR.
I was gonna say, was it Dale Earnhardt?
It was.
Okay, because it feels like Rowdy's character is sort of like the Intimidator. You know, that's kind of who they're making him be like. I would say, you know,
In a lot of ways, yes.
yeah. And at that time, I mean, Dale was just, I mean, top of his game, and yeah,
He was.
he was,
It was
yeah.
close to, if I recall correctly, it wasn't that much later when he had his fatal crash at Daytona.
Well, yeah, that was late '90s. It was almost a decade later.
Well, this came out in '91.
Yeah, so this was like his fatal crash was, I want to say it was '99 or 2000.
I thought it was earlier.
Yeah, let me look real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to double check.
I'm pretty sure that's when it was, because that was when Michael Waltrip won it, I think, that year.
Oh, you're right, 2001.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, so it was 10 years later. Good job.
Yeah, I thought it was about 10 years later. So
yeah. Yeah, he was still in the middle of his classic Dale.
Yeah, he was the
It wasn't
Intimidator.
much later. That's when Junior came on the scene.
Yeah, that's yeah. Junior came on the scene soon afterwards, but I
And
mean, like,
Jeff
yeah.
Gordon and
Well, that's what. So, like, I saw this interview with Michael Waltrip, and he was saying that him and Dale, because they filmed parts of this movie during the Daytona 500, that they kept kind of getting after Dale because he'd come up into these cars and mess with them, the stunt drivers and stuff, trying to get in the movie. And I guess they didn't like that very much, Tony Scott. So,
technically speaking, no, it was Richard Petty in the opening scene.
yeah,
Cars, yeah. But it was, I think, a little later.
I thought it was cool. Like, they got Rusty Wallace and Petty, and they got a lot of these drivers, you know, talking about Cole Trickle and stuff. And that was cool that they got him to do that. And, you know, I mean, it made it feel more realistic. So,
yeah, it really did. But did you catch the one cameo driver?
oh, was it Mario Andretti?
No.
Oh, I thought he was in it too. Like, because he runs open wheels and not NASCAR, but I thought he was.
It's Don Simpson.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Originally, Don Simpson actually had a minor role.
Oh, really?
Throughout the whole movie.
Huh.
And just about 95% of it got cut out.
Oh, geez.
Remember final Daytona race and the hood that blows up?
Yeah.
You look closely, you'll see it. That was Don Simpson's car.
That's Gant. Yeah. It's like Gant's out and not that.
Yeah. No, the big.
Oh, okay. Oh, the big crash. Okay.
So, yeah, his hood flies open, rolls backwards. His car turns, and Harry's like, "There's a crash at turn 3. Some oil at the bottom of the track. Take it high.
Take it high. You'll get through. I know in my heart." Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that, and there's he does one of the little voice over interviews before the Daytona race.
Right.
So that was
cool.
Don Simpson's little contribution.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, what's really funny is there are so many behind the scene stories about Don Simpson during the production of this movie.
Oh, really?
Yes. In fact, let me just pull up my notes here. Sorry, I literally have 6 pages worth of notes.
Holy cow.
I know. I did research this time.
I did nothing other than watch the movie and enjoy the hell out of it.
Well, that's all we needed you to do, so
Okay.
we're good. A lot of this, I don't
When I
really
say watch the movie, it was probably for the 90th time. I've seen this movie so many times. My wife was like, "Do you even need to watch it? You have it memorized." I was like, "I know, but I love it."
So Don Simpson was excited to be cast as a rival race car driver named Aldo and worked hard for the role. Problem was, he had no acting ability and his scenes were awful. So planned to have Aldo as a major supporting character was nixed, and Simpson ended up having only one brief scene. Speculations afterward held that Tony Scott shot the earlier longer scenes featuring Simpson badly on purpose so that
So they'd
he
get
would be
cut.
able to eliminate or greatly reduce his acting efforts.
That's funny.
So, behind the scenes in Daytona, Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer spent $400,000 to have a vacant storefront in their hotel converted into a private gym with a large neon sign reading "Days of Thunder."
Oh wow.
Simpson also kept a closet full of Donna Karan dresses to offer attractive women his assistants found on the beach, and held private parties with friends like rapper Tone Knock, and they threw special welcome parties for the crew at the local nightclubs with a minimal food and drink and no music, but plenty of hookers they flew in, most of whom they limited to the roped off VIP area with themselves and Tom Cruise.
Wow.
So
That's the first I ever heard that one before.
yeah. I have another note. I'm trying to screw it. I'll give you the gist of it. So Don Simpson brought this girl on, and she was basically the pit girl.
Uh-huh.
I'm not 100% sure if she was the girl in the trailer after Cole's first win.
You mean the one that's with
John C. Riley?
Yeah, that girl? Okay.
Very possible it's her, but again, this is unconfirmed.
You really don't, it doesn't say who she is really. She's just, I always kind of thought she was John C. Reilly's girlfriend.
Exactly.
It's kind of is the feeling I got.
During the filming of the movie, she was Don Simpson's girl.
Oh.
Shortly after production all kind of wrapped up, she left Mr. Simpson and fell in love with Mr. Scott, Tony Scott.
Oh, Jesus.
Who went on to marry him and have 2 children with him.
Oh, wow.
His tragic suicide in the early 2000s.
Yeah, yeah.
Early to late mid 2010, something like that. Yeah. So again, without having the exact details, that's the gist of it. So back to where we were before, talking about the trilogy, as I call them. This is how Tom and Nicole met.
Right.
Immediately after falling in love together in this movie,
far away,
got married, and instead of doing an actual honeymoon, they started a movie together.
Far and Away, right?
Far and Away.
Yeah.
Then,
which I know you don't like that movie, but I like it.
Yes. And then they starred in Stanley Kubrick's last film, Eyes Wide Shut.
No, I never saw that one.
And promptly after that came out, they divorced.
Right.
So that is the story of their love story.
Trilogy.
It's a 3-picture trilogy.
Yeah.
So now there is a lot of speculation that it was the Church of Scientology that arranged the marriage and stuff. I'm not going to get into it. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either. I don't think anybody does. Someone does, but we don't.
Yeah. I like Tom the actor, I like his movies.
Yeah.
Tom outside of the movies can be a little eccentric. And
Yeah, I feel the same way. I enjoy his movies and his work, but that's about it. So whatever he does in his personal life, that's his deal.
no,
But I do enjoy his movies.
I
So
believe I sent you the recent little Porsche video. Did I not?
I don't think so.
I didn't. I thought I shared that with you.
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
I don't know if it was supposed to be Top Gear or some other version, but the hosts were all trying out the new Porsche something car, and Tom Cruise comes in a different color Porsche, and he's quoting lines from Top Gun. It's if I haven't shared it with you, I apologize. I thought I already sent it to you.
I'll send it. You haven't. I just looked. I don't see that. So
Okay. But yeah, that was cool
yeah.
as a Top Gun fan. Obviously, he was shooting that pre-COVID restrictions as part of the tie-in to Maverick,
Right.
but
Which we get to see this year. So that'll be good.
hopefully, at this point, 2 summer blockbuster movies that I want to see are already available as theater at home options on Vudu. So,
Which ones are those?
Furious 9 and Mr. Nobody.
Oh.
And of course, Black Widow on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I'm excited about Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's coming.
Oh, you saw the new trailer, didn't you?
Oh man, and I'm pumped. It's got me. I'm all fired up for that. It looks great.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to do something special right before it. And no, we're not going to do the female version of Ghostbusters.
No.
So, back to I think the 2021 dilemma of looking back at this film.
Sure.
Kidman was 24 at the time of this film.
He was? Oh, I didn't realize that.
So, how is
she a doctor?
Exactly. And not only a doctor, yeah.
Like she's not just a doctor, she's a specialized doctor.
Yeah.
Seeing as a kid, that never even crossed my mind. Even now, until you said that, it's like, yeah, it never crossed my mind that she was kind of young to be
that specialist of a doctor. Yeah.
But it kind of fits with the joke then too. This is what you're looking for.
Yes, and we're not going to bring that up in any further detail. So yeah, the age is a little bit of an issue. Nicole Kidman actually asked the producers if she could go shadow a couple neurosurgeons as research for the film, and they told her it'd be a waste of time.
Yeah. Your part sucks anyways. Just do what you can with it.
So there's that. Now, there are plenty of things of this movie based on true stories. Not a story, but stories.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So did you see who gets story credit for this movie?
I don't think I've ever paid attention to that.
Tom Cruise.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Story by Robert Towne and Tom Cruise.
Huh. All right.
You know how long it took from conception in Tom's brain to actual filming began?
5 months.
4 years.
Oh, wow. Wow. So he was thinking about this during Top Gun.
No.
Right after?
Color of Money.
Oh, wow. Holy cow.
Because Color of Money was after Top Gun, co-starring with the legendary Paul Newman.
Yeah.
And they were filming in the South, and somehow they got invited to Rick Hendrickson's
Oh yeah. Yeah.
compound ranch, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Hendrick's Racing. He owns Hendrick Racing. Yeah.
Yes. And somehow, well, Paul Newman was already a race car driver on the side.
Yeah.
And I think it was him and Hendricks were buddies or something.
I can see that.
Hendricks let them take out a couple of his cars on a test track. And Tom got in and he did a couple laps, got all the way up to 185 miles an hour.
That's pretty fast. That's moving. Yeah.
Which is something you could do at the Richard Petty driving school.
Yeah.
Or the Richard Petty driving experience, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And he got out and like, we got to do a movie about this. And, you know, the night continues on. And Hendrickson is just regaling some NASCAR lore.
Oh, lore and stories and all that stuff. That's cool.
So a lot of the stories were combined into this massive story.
Yeah. Well, I like how they, you know, after he wins his first race and they're in the truck all together telling stories, and they got the moonshine and stuff. I dig that because that's how NASCAR started. It was a bunch of bootleggers and stuff.
Exactly. So that was kind of
sounds kind of cool. Yeah.
So, so like I said, a lot of the story of Days of Thunder here is based off Hendrick's own experience. And let me actually pull up the official notes that I have here.
Cool.
So Tom Cruise and Robert Duvall's character are very loosely based on former driver Tim Richmond and his crew chief, Harry Hyde. Richmond was known as an overnight sensation. Hyde was a veteran crew chief. The scene where Duvall's character teaches Cruise about tire management is based on an actual incident between Hyde and Richmond, who had died from complications of AIDS the year before the film was released.
Huh. Well, I wondered, because those seem, I mean, some of the stuff they talk about is pretty realistic, you know, sort of things that drivers and stuff would talk about, you know, which I didn't realize that until when I moved to South Dakota. I was on a pit crew for a sprint car driver. He was Matt Heinzling, and he won seven championships. I mean, we were dang good. And setting up the sprint car, you'd have to do all sorts of things, like figure out with the tires going out, the air pressure. We even measured the air pressure to know what the size pill we would put in, so it would allow a certain amount of fuel to go to the motor for optimum racing conditions. So, and I used to watch Days of Thunder to get fired up about it. So. But it's crazy how much goes into these cars. That's why, like, you know, those scenes when they're talking about, I get in the car and drive. I could drive. Well, it's way more than that. There's so much about how it's loose and tight, and there's so much that goes into those cars, tweaking them to make them run in optimal condition.
Oh, absolutely. So. Actually, my senior in high school, I used to help my then girlfriend's parents, who used to race a drag race car out in what was that racetrack by Butte? It's over by Anaconda.
Oh yeah, it's up a racetrack. That's the dang town's called Racetrack, right there before you get to Anaconda.
Yeah,
it's got to be where it's at. Yeah. They have a drag track there. It's in Racetrack, Montana.
Yes, we're so sophisticated here in Montana. So yeah. So here are some of those stories that are in the movie based on real events.
Cool.
Such as the meeting with Big John where he tells Cole and Rowdy they have to drive together to dinner,
Yeah.
is based on an actual meeting that Bill Francis Sr., Big Bill, had with 1980s, or had in the 80s with Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Bodine.
Oh, wow.
So
Now the question is, did Dale and Bodine rent cars and ram them into each other and stuff? 'Cause that's awesome.
that goes to a different story here.
Oh, okay.
Let me try to find my notes here. I'm all over the place. So since we were already talking about that scene with the moonshine, Harry talks about prior to Cole, his driver was Buddy Brotherton.
Yeah.
And they mentioned that he died hitting the wall in Daytona. Harry also mentioned that Buddy was hearing voices while he was driving. Buddy Brotherton is probably based on NASCAR driver Bobby Isaac, who drove for Harry Hyde. Isaac claimed that he was having voices tell him to get out of the race car or he would die. So he pulled off the track and quit.
That's the exact scene from the dang movie. Oh, get out of the car! You know, Duvall's character.
Even spookier. Isaac died several years later from a heart attack while driving in a 1977 late model sportsman race at Cary Motor Speedway with 5 laps to go.
Wow. So they really tied all that in there.
Yeah.
I had no idea that stuff was like based off real stuff. That's crazy.
So how about the Cole, you can't pit right now. We're too busy eating ice cream.
Oh, yeah. Just pissed.
This incident actually occurred at the 1987 Southern 500 involving the Hendrick Motorsport number 35 team with crew chief Harry Hyde and Richmond replacement driver Benny Parsons.
We're eating ice cream.
Yeah. Now, another source I was reading did say that Benny did eventually get ice cream when he was allowed to pit, but yeah.
That's funny because I thought for sure that was some kind of Hollywood BS that they just threw in there. You know, that's funny.
Remember when Cole deliberately blows his engine by over revving it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That reflects an incident in which Tim Richmond was said to have done the exact same thing at Michigan in '87.
Yeah, I kind of figured that might have been based off of someone doing that. I could see that happening.
And the scene where Cole and Rowdy destroy a pair of rental cars by racing them through the city streets is loosely referenced early in 1950s NASCAR superstars Joe Weatherly and Curtis Turner, each of whom were known to rent cars, race, and crash them with abandon.
That's awesome.
So,
I enjoy the heck out of that scene where they're smashing them cars up and stuff. It's like, holy cow.
And then the other scene I want to talk about, I actually found video, and if I can remember the link, I will share that in the show notes. But I made a special version of the video where the crash between Cole and Russ
Wesley?
Yes. Is loosely based off of a 1987 race.
Really?
So I actually found footage of that race.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to spend a couple minutes actually looking at it. I will share the original link in my show notes if anybody else wants to see it. But I do have a special thing for you to see.
Awesome.
So let me pull it up here.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That was cool watching the Intimidator race, man. That was good. I enjoyed that.
So again, I will have the original source posted in my show notes if anybody would like to actually find that one as well.
I like that you tied the music in. That was really good.
Yeah, unfortunately, everybody else won't have the cool Days of Thunder theme running through the actual race. So sorry. Didn't want you to get too spoiled there, bud.
Yeah, I love that. He's like, hey, that's how we don't have to fix. I don't want you spoiled, bud.
Now, I just want to throw out that in a lot of ways, Days of Thunder is a watered down version of Top Gun.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of similarities.
I would almost say Rowdy Burns. You think he's Iceman, but I would actually say he's more Viper.
Yeah, I can see that because at the end they become friends, and Viper's like, you could be, you need someone, you need a Rio, give me a call, I'll fly with you.
Well, you need to know about your family's history. What I'm telling you is classified, could end my career, but your dad did it right. And here, I need you to save my family. I need you to race my car.
Yeah, yeah.
Lose tie, but yes. I would also say the way they cast Cary as Russ.
Yeah, that's more like Iceman.
He looks like Iceman.
Yeah, and that feels more the Iceman character. I agree.
Yes. Yeah. And then, just for fun, I'm going to show you the other video now.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
I'm sorry I can't share this full clip with everyone, but the very beginning, that final Daytona, do you know what celebrity's voice was there for Gentlemen, Start Your Engines?
Oh.
Now, I have that as part of the clip I'm about to show you, and I will share the first 10 seconds or so here for everybody. So let me pull it up. And then play that first part. And then I'll show you.
They're really at Daytona too.
Yes, that was really Daytona. That was the real official. I don't know what year. I didn't look it up. I'm sorry, but he is a legend. And we did lose him last year. Or 2 years ago. Doesn't matter.
Is it Paul Newman?
No.
Richard Petty?
Longer than that.
Oh, okay. I can't remember how long, because I know with the Cars things, they had to pull him off of that. He plays Doc's voice or whatever because
yes.
He passed. Is it Richard Petty? He's still alive though.
Okay, you're heading in visually the right direction because of that stash.
I don't know. I'm blanking.
Burt Reynolds.
Oh, Burt Reynolds. Oh man, I love
Bandit.
Oh, that's cool. That is Burt Reynolds' voice.
It absolutely is.
That is Burt Reynolds. That was bummed when we lost him. Burt Reynolds.
So that is the second time in the last 3 months that not knowing ahead of time that we were getting traded to something tied to Burt.
Yeah, that's cool. I had no idea that was Burt Reynolds' voice. Once you say it, I'm like, oh, that's Burt. You can tell. I mean, that's his voice.
Well, the last time was when we were talking about The Great Escape.
Yeah.
And one of the documentary behind the scene look at the real story was narrated by Burt.
Yeah.
So, all right. Without any further ado, I want to show you this special clip that I made just for our discussion here.
Cool.
Cars are sliding down from the top of the track, so watch yourself. You better go high, Cole. Pick a line you can drive through. Cole, are you all right? Answer me, please. Go around those wrecks. You can drive through it. I know it. I know it's my heart.
Mavericks re-engaging, sir.
Woo! Up through it, Harry! I'm out of here.
That was that. I was like, wait, did I miss that before? Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me, Goose. Mavericks re-engaging, sir.
So
It's totally. I never even thought about that, tying it like that. It's so the same.
now, on a side note, I played that for my wife. She hardly even could hear the little faint background sound I put in to Talk to Me, Goose.
Yeah.
And she said, that is so stupid. Nobody would even notice that. And I said,
Oh,
Luke will.
I noticed it instantly. I was like,
Guarantee it. And she's like, I'll take that bet. And you just proved me right. So thank you.
oh, you're welcome. I was just like, oh, I heard it instantly. I was like, talk to me, Goose. I'm like, does he say that in the original? I missed it? Because it fit perfect.
So, yeah.
That's what my wife was joking the other day. She's like, I don't know how you remember all these movie lines, but you can't remember song. Like I can't remember lines from songs and words from songs, but I can like sit here and recite whole movies and have no issue. I don't know. It's my special talent, I guess.
Yeah.
I actually the other day, this is off subject a little bit. They have a radio station in Rapid City now that's just purely 80s, and they do movie line challenges every morning. And I try to win it. What's that?
Have you already gotten yourself banned from competition?
Yeah, this morning. You can't call in anymore. I was like, okay. Because you got to wait 30 days. You can't keep calling in. You don't win. You got it right, but you don't win. And I was like, all right, I'll quit calling in.
Well, speaking of movie trivia, I think I already told you this. Here in our hometown in Missoula,
Yeah.
we had
It's a good story. Tell the story.
So our most popular morning show used to be Craig and Al in the mornings on Z100 Classic Rock.
Yeah, Z100. Heck yeah.
And they used to do Movie Line Friday, where they would read off just a random line from a movie, and if you could guess it, you won whatever the little prize.
Yeah, it wasn't actually from the movie. It was like Craig or Al, one of them reading it, if I remember right.
They would read the line, so it's not even hearing the clip from the movie.
Yeah, they just read the line. Yeah,
here's the line, and you either know it or you don't. And I'm going to paraphrase the line a little bit here, just because I always do try to keep this PG-ish. Which, by the way, this was the first PG-13 movie that I think for both Tony Scott and Tom Cruise. So, but you see that coon hound over there? That is the best darn coon dog I've ever seen or heard about, and I didn't teach him a darn thing. And I immediately recognized that from the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually working at Sears as the warehouse manager at the time. In fact, I think I just got done unloading the Friday truck. So it was just timed perfectly where we kind of had a little downtime. I called it in. I'm like, guys, are you sure you didn't want to do this for NASCAR Monday? You're talking Days of Thunder. And they're like, yeah, you're absolutely right. And it was a pretty nice prize package. You know, it was like 5 or 6 different gift certificates to local restaurants. I think I had a Doc Holiday sandwich certificate.
Cool.
I don't know. This was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So, maybe even longer. I don't know. But yeah, I immediately recognized it just because I thought that was one of the coolest lines at the beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah, it's such. I mean that whole Harry Hogge character and his wisdom
And
that he puts out, and his lines are so great.
I would say the building of the car montage
Oh yeah.
is another fantastic montage. Since
Oh,
we were talking about montages in the last film.
yeah, Backdraft. I love the montage. That when they're building the car, that's a great one. I love that.
It actually has its own score music just for that scene. In fact, that's another little bit of tidbit history about this, is you couldn't actually get the original score to this movie until 2013.
Wow.
That's when it was finally released. Otherwise, the best you got was the main theme.
That's 20 some years later, 22 years later.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. Huh.
So this was actually the first time Tony Scott and Hans Zimmer, I think it's, yeah. Originally, he wanted Harold to come back, who did the Top Gun anthem.
Oh, sure.
But he, for whatever reasons, he couldn't do it. So he recommended his buddy Hans, and they went on to work together again in another Jerry Bruckheimer, Don Simpson's film.
Rock?
Good guess, but no. And Eddie Murphy.
Beverly Hills Cop?
2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
speaking of the music from this movie, to this day, when I hear "Give Me Some Lovin'" by the Spencer Davis Group and I'm driving, I can't help but put on the gas and freaking want to just go. I mean, I love that scene too. When that little montage and they're playing that and he's learning how to race. That's what
his rookie season.
Yeah. It's so good. I mean, to this day, I hear that song and I want to freaking go fast.
So I have a whole list of female actresses who were offered the role of Claire.
Really?
But turned it down. Guess who number one was?
I had always assumed that it was just Tom picking, like saying, "No, Nicole, this is her role." I just always assumed. I didn't realize that's where they met and stuff. So interesting.
Yeah, not quite. The number one pick, and she had to turn it down due to other commitments, was Robin Wright.
Really?
Yeah.
Jenny?
Now here's where it gets really
and Buttercup.
Yes, Princess Buttercup and Wesley in a movie again.
Yeah.
A mere 2 years later.
Yeah, that wouldn't have worked, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think people would have bought Tom and Robin to begin with.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But let me pull up my list.
I thought you were going to say Kelly McGillis. Yeah, that wouldn't have worked either.
Okay, so let me count these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 other female actresses. And I guarantee you know at least 13 of them.
Oh, wow.
The actresses. I'm going to give you the one that I'd have to look her up right now. I don't recognize her. And that's Allison Dottie.
Allison Doody. Yeah, Allison Doody.
Okay. She is the only one I don't recognize off the top of my head.
Yeah. No, I know her. I'm trying to think what the heck she's in.
Oh. Okay. I do know her now.
Yeah. It's like once you see her, you're gonna recognize her. So
yeah, she was in King Solomon's Mine.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade.
Yeah, she's that's who it is. Yeah, she's
She was the German gal.
blonde girl in
Yeah.
Last Crusade. Why am I drawing a blank on her name? Elsa. She plays Elsa in Last Crusade. Yeah, that's Ellison Duty.
All right. So remember this movie came out in 91.
Yeah.
Filmed during 89-90. Give me your best guess on who turned it down.
Sally Fields.
No.
Okay, so I was like, I was thinking the older doctor thing,
Okay. No.
Okay.
I like where you're going, but no, totally
Okay.
wrong.
Kim
direction.
Basinger.
Yes, Kim Basinger is the first one on the list here.
Okay. Other gals. Let's see here. Cindy Crawford, maybe? No.
Good guess, but no.
Okay. Gosh, 80s.
Yep.
No, that's 90s. I was gonna say Shannon Doherty, but she's 90s.
Oh God, no, she would not have been. That would have been even worse.
I know.
This was. What was that show that she was in with Deidre Hall and Wilford Brimley? This is before Beverly Hills 90210 started, so she was too young.
Yeah, she's too young. What about oh God, I can never remember. She's blonde, and she was in oh my gosh, she's in the movie with Steve Martin. He's got the big nose. She's also in Kill Bill.
Okay.
I'm trying to blank
where you're going, and no.
Okay, dang.
I'm going to leave that one blank because I'm hoping people will comment who it is because I know exactly who you're talking about.
Dang, I am blanking on that one. Okay, so not her. Geez, who else then at that time? Michelle Pfeiffer?
There's two.
Okay. Let's see here. Carrie Fisher?
Good guess, but no.
Oh, okay. I mean, she was trying to get a little older. Sharon Stone.
Hey, you got three now.
All right. Let's go. Let's see here. What about Susan Sarandon?
Very nice guess, but no.
Gina Davis?
No.
Dang it. Michelle Pfeiffer.
You're in the right ballpark, so keep going.
Renee Russo?
Who?
Renee Russo?
No.
No. Oh my gosh. Kate Capshaw?
No.
Karen Allen? We're going down the Indiana Jones.
Hey, let's leave Spielberg movies out of it. Got the one Spielberg already.
All right. Wait, Linda Hamilton.
We are not going down the James Cameron role either.
All right, give him to me. I'm running out. Give him to me.
This one was a little surprised because she was too young. Sandra Bullock.
Oh yeah, she was way too young because Speed didn't come out for a while, and she was still young then.
Yes. Jodie Foster.
Oh, that wouldn't have worked.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh, horse. Okay.
Heather Locklear.
Oh yeah, that's one. Yeah. Okay. Heather, that could have worked.
Madonna.
Madge? Well, she was in A League of Their Own.
Molly Ringwald.
Oh, really? Okay. I mean, she was real popular in the 80s, so okay.
Julia Roberts.
Oh, I didn't think of that one. Dang it. Disappointed myself. I should have thought of that one.
Okay, I'm going to do these a little different here. Ali Sheedy.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, Breakfast Club.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right. Now, these last two supposedly are good friends with Tom Cruise, and they both said no. Brooke Shields,
Oh, okay.
Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan. Oh, yeah, she was real popular then.
But
That wouldn't have worked either, though, because she's Goose's wife. You know, that
exactly.
would have been, yeah. Everybody would have been like, why is Goose's wife on here? That just wouldn't have worked.
So, but all of them turned down the role. I don't have any further details on why, but if you take my wife's direction on it, it's because they all saw how bad of a part it was. So,
yeah, I mean, it wasn't the greatest part.
Now, a couple fun little facts. Production began without a finished script. Scenes were often written the day of filming.
Oh, wow.
During one driving sequence, Tom Cruise actually had to read his lines off of a cue card attached to his windshield, which resulted in a minor car accident. Now, just how minor? $100,000 worth of damage minor, because he destroyed a camera.
Oh, ouch.
This is from a second source I had. For all remaining sequences where he had to have lines, they fitted him with an earwig and fed him his lines.
Yeah.
And then when off duty, just another thing I found in trivia, he got a speeding ticket for doing 85 miles an hour. Now, do you know who?
Dropping the hammer. No, you're not.
Now, who in Hollywood actually says this is one of his absolute favorite race car movies?
Who in Hollywood?
Yes.
Sly Stallone.
No, but there is a NASCAR driver who says his favorite racing movie is Driven with Sly Stallone.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you: is it a young or old person?
It's a director.
Oh, director. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he's done 9 movies.
Steven Spielberg.
Again, he's only done 9 movies.
Rob Reiner. I'm drawing a blank, man.
He says with his 10th movie that it will be his last one, and he's never going to make a movie again.
No way. Okay, it's Quentin Tarantino.
Yes. Quentin Tarantino said the film was one of his favorite big budget racing films. Yeah, you know, laugh. But seriously, I'm a big fan. To me, Days of Thunder is the movie Grand Prix from 1966 and Le Mans from 1971 should have been. Sure, it had a big budget, big star, and big director in Tony Scott. But it had a fun of those early AIP movies. I just don't think works if you don't take the whole thing too seriously. Unquote.
That was a nice impression.
Thank you. It helps that I recently watched a couple of his interviews about Once Upon in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So, sorry for that horrible impression, but it just felt natural.
No, that's good. I liked it.
So, but yeah, biggest thing about this movie was the fact that it went way over budget, and we realized just 3 weeks before premiere date, the new latest pushback premiere date, that they failed to actually film a scene where Trickle actually crossed the finish line first the mellow yellow car.
Oh, so how? What? Oh no, that's not.
So
good.
they had to go. Literally, they filmed it over the weekend and threw it into post and
just get a close up of him crossing first. That's all we need.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, I got more info about behind the scenes going into it, but really, it's
there's some good. There, I've seen a few of them. There's some good documentaries about Days of Thunder where they're all talking to NASCAR drivers and stuff, and they're really good, you know. And talking about guys that were driving while they were filming at Daytona, and they're like, we were all trying to get in the movie and get close to those cars, and so I mean they were actually filming it while the race was going on. They were just hanging back, so and they got lapped, and I don't know, it's cool. I think it's.
Well, here's a little trivia. Paramount used 27 cameras on top of the one CBS used to actually broadcast the stuff. So just in those 27 cameras, they shot over 65,000 feet of film during Speed Week in the 90s.
Wow.
All told, 1,000,000 feet covering 240 hours were shot.
Holy cow.
So,
jeez.
Now, in part of what I found is I did find a 1991 Days of Thunder behind the scenes video, which I will post in the show notes, which actually starts off with not one, but 2 Days of Thunder tie-in commercials. One being a Mellow Yellow commercial, and the other is a Superflow oil commercial.
I thought you were going to say Hardee's.
Oh no, it may have a Hardee's commercial in there. I didn't watch all of it.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't want to speak ill of Don Simpson, but Don Simpson probably wouldn't have made it through the Me Too movement.
Oh, no.
So,
yeah.
Just in, I think in one of the earlier videos that I'm posting, What's Wrong with Days of Thunder? It actually shares a line where Simpson actually says roughly that besides racing, the only real good things out there is food and sex.
Oh gosh.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's not like, yeah, I mean, for the times, but that's what you have to remember. It was made in the late 80s, early 90s. So
right.
With, when NASCAR was still the Winston Cup series, and then, the Busch series for the well, now I think it's the nationwide series. But yeah, it's times have changed a lot. So
times have definitely changed. Now,
but
obviously,
it's still a fun movie if you can put some of that stuff to the side.
Yeah. And look at John C. Reilly. This is one of his early films.
Yeah.
And he goes on to basically parody it.
Yeah.
What? Almost 15, 20 years later.
Yeah, and then Talladega Nights. So.
Exactly. A couple fun facts. This is the first movie with John C. Reilly and Michael Rooker together. What's the other one?
I don't know.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yep, you're right. Yeah, because he plays the security guard, and then Michael plays Yondu.
Yep. In fact, John C. Reilly and Robert Duvall have both played the same character.
What?
Yeah. A very well-known fictional character. A doctor, if you will.
Oh man, I don't know at all. I'm totally blanking.
It's Elementary. They both played Watson.
Watson, yes, yeah, Holmes, yeah, Sherlock Holmes and Watson.
Yep.
Right, because I never saw that one with Will Ferrell and Riley.
Yeah, I haven't watched it myself, but
I heard it was really bad, so I just went, oh, okay, I'll skip it.
Yeah,
but I mean, Duvall, he's such a good actor, and I mean, I think without him, this movie is not near as good. I mean, he is so good in it.
I think
And Randy Quaid is the slick car salesman, president. He's perfect too. He's so, I mean, the acting I thought was really good in it. I mean, for some of the supporting roles.
Yeah, I did see somebody else was considered for the role of Tim. Let me see if I can find it here really quick. If not, it's no big deal. Oh, Donna W. Scott was cast by Don Simpson as the pit girl who then marries Tony Scott.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another little tidbit that I forgot to keep in. The film's theme song, Last Note of Freedom, sung by David Copperfield of the band Whitesnake. He did that at the request of Tom Cruise himself. Coverdale's vocals were recorded in 1990 in LA during a day off from the Whitesnake Slip of the Tongue Liquor and Poker World Tour. So,
Back.
Yeah, so with our brief interruption there, I'm still looking for that piece and I don't see it.
No, that's okay. We've been going for...
Yeah, we're probably good.
We're over an hour. So... I missed what you were saying right when you cut off. So
I was talking about the music, but I'll just cut this out. Yeah, I can't find it. It was... I wonder if it's in the other notes I have. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
all right.
So overall, it's been kind of fun looking back at it.
Yeah.
Richard Petty said the only thing they got right about this movie was the numbers on the side of the cars.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely Hollywooded up and stuff, but it's a fun movie, and like my wife and I both, if it's on, we'll sit down and watch it just because it's fun to watch. And
yeah, it's one of those. I've always enjoyed it. I remember, when it came out, going to Hardee's, because in the Hardee's version of the Happy Meal, whatever, they were giving away the Hot Wheels cars.
Well, and I remember building the Mellow Yellow car out of Legos and stuff, and it was cool.
And believe it or not, this thing actually has 2 video games.
Yeah, I have the Nintendo Days of Thunder video game. I was playing it this last weekend.
The almost impossible to play game.
Yeah, it's. I mean, when it banks, it's hard. It banks hard, like the bank that you're sitting on, basically, and I can't not go into the wall. I feather it. I hit the brakes. It doesn't matter.
I think it was about 2013. There was a NASCAR racing game that came out saying Days of Thunder, and they used the throwback color schemes
Oh, that's cool.
on the PS3.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
So, but the classic one, yeah, Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So, other than, it was supposed to be a summer blockbuster, but it came out in October.
Yeah.
Over budget, underperformed, but it still has stayed kind of in the zeitgeist of racing movies. It's
Oh yeah. I mean, like everybody I know that likes racing or dirt track racing and stuff enjoys Days of Thunder. So I mean, it's just most people that like Top Gun like Days of Thunder. So it's good.
especially if I release my special cut with that hit
Oh man.
audio.
Yeah. That was awesome.
So we're going to continue this car theme in a couple of weeks with another well, in this case, the remake is better than the original in a lot of
Yeah, I agree. Well, I haven't seen the original because I heard it was so bad. But the remake's good. And we have an actor from this movie in that movie too. So
yes. So if you haven't figured it out, you got about 60 seconds to figure it out.
absolutely.
So until then, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Thanks for tuning in. Luke, thank you as always. And
My pleasure. I enjoyed it.
we'll be gone now.